Hey everybody, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel in the Prado Hospital, including the engine replacement hospital. If you don't follow all the maintenance directions, you might wish you were in the cracked piston fund, but at the end of the day, I'm just here to share the info, and those people that listen and take it on board are the ones that can keep it reliable and hopefully save some money in doing so. What I'm going to talk about in this one is the thermostat. It's new information recently, so I suppose I just want to recap it and factor the matter out there, because it could be another contributor to cracked pistons, and we haven't really been monitoring thermostats for the high end temperature until recent times, until I noticed there's actually an issue with one. And then we've found a few since then, nothing particularly bad, but so it's not a big problem. But this whole BFE kit is for every vehicle and every engine. It's not just 1KDs. We just happen to have the kit available for the 1KDs. But, you know, other makes and models will still need water pumps leak. You know, they'll still need a water pump. Timing belts due for replacement. They have a tensioner and idler. They have the main drive belt that stretches. They have all the bearings that, you know, they wear out, especially if they're four-wheel drives. A lot of vehicles, the bearings wear out. They're not even four-wheel drive. So it's quite amazing they last as long as they do. We don't see a lot of problems with any of this stuff, but this is it's just on the slightest chance on the very outside that you're the unlucky one, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a bit of drama. So we're just trying to get the maintenance level up so that you can avoid the drama. So whether it's the BFE, the injector deal, if your worst case scenario, you don't know the history of the vehicle, you've been towing in overdrive, whatever reason it may be for your cracked piston, you know, you want to be able to have the right solution. So brand new long motor like this is the way to go. In a box, in a crate from Toyota, made in Japan, bada bing, bada boom. They're expensive. Prices are getting up. I mean, on a lot of the long motors, I think some of them are even over 15 grand, but still, if you get it at the right place, bada bing, bada boom, it'll be value for money compared to a rebuild. When you consider what you get, guaranteed, get it right the first time is one of the main things. But let's talk about these thermostats a little bit more, since that's the new information, and was my plan to talk about the thermostat in this video. And you can see it located there. In case you missed it, that's its location. You can rewind a bit and have a bit of more of a look if you like. This one's still in there. I'm going to sort of demonstrate how stuck they are. Sometimes they're stuck. I might just give it a bit of a kick with the slip-ons I've got at the moment and just see what happens. And explain the issue again while you can sort of look at the thermostat in the block. So just take a good look at it now, right? So there's a rubber seal around the outside of the thermostat. It's quite corroded, you can kind of see that there, right? And the housing goes straight over the top of it. And that rubber O-ring is what seals the outside perimeter of the thermostat housing, the thermostat body itself, between the block and the housing. It's just an O-ring that just squashes in there. And the center part here is what opens up. So that slightly pushes in that way. I'm not going to do it or try it or anything like that, but it slightly pulls back, if you like, under a couple of different circumstances. This is your heater bypass here. When this thermostat opens all the way, it actually blocks off the heater bypass. So if you're running really hot and your thermostat's all the way open, you won't get any heat out of your heating system. It's actually will help as a cooling system, to be quite honest, almost. But anyway, let's not think about that one too hard. Let's stick to this thermostat, keep it simple, stupid. Let's see if it wants to come out, how easy it comes out, how well stuck it is. Just for fun, right? I mean, this is an old engine, an old thermostat. So I'm not doing my proper karate kicks. I'm just doing the stupid toe kick, of course, to use the boots. But you can see how hard they can be to get out. So if you're thinking about changing yours, beware the situation is going to be similar to that. Now, we might get it out before the end of the video, but let's just talk about it a little bit more. So for those that missed it, and if you didn't miss it, it's good to hear it again to understand it. They're an 82-degree thermostat, right? That's what they say on them, 82 degrees. And you'll see about 83 degrees on your scan tool at idle if everything's working perfectly. And that's coming from the coolant temperature sensor that's in the front of the head just there usually. But obviously it gets removed and reused on the new engine. Now, if it idles a little bit outside that, it's not a big deal. it's a big deal if it's idling anything with a 7 in front of it. Now, if you're in the snow and icy conditions, it might be very difficult for the engine idling to keep up to 83. So you've got to be aware of that situation in case that's a contributor. But in normal operating conditions, it might take a long time to get to 83. But once you drive the vehicle and it gets to 83 and then you come back to idle, drive it and come back, it should fluctuate a little bit. Eventually, it should sit on 83. It might drop to 82 or 81, but you shouldn't see something along the lines of it idling at 75 after you've warmed it up. If it does that, what's happening here is that centerpiece, right? It's like a bit of rubber there, right? I'll get a bit more detail, right? See this, right, around there? That centerpiece, it's not sealing. It's not coming all the way back this way and sealing. It's stuck open. So it could be stuck open a millimetre or two. Again, very rare on these engines, but it could be stuck open just a little bit, which allows the flow to keep happening, right? So it just keeps coming through, and therefore it's not going to get to temperature in the block because the heat keeps coming out and the cool keeps going in at the other end, which is at the top of the engine at the head there. Let's get a bit more detail maybe in another video. So that's at the bottom end of the situation. Now, assuming it's closing all the way, like this one looks to be, I haven't tested it, just looking at it going, looks to be, most of them do. We're talking about at least 999 out of 1,000 success rate. I've checked a lot of these. I've specialised in these engines for, well over 10 years now. A lot of scan tools on a lot of engines, whether it's whatever sort of jobs we're doing, checking cars, diagnostics, after injector jobs, whatever, we get to see the normal operating temperatures of everything, including driving my own vehicles, which we own and run 3 of these engines. We get to see on those scan gauge 2, scan gauge 3, whatever it is, what the temperatures are. So, and I haven't seen ever, personally, that I can think of at this point in time, running cool. I haven't seen one running cool. In winter, it takes time to get there if it's just idling. That's why I'd say I'd send you out for a drive and then come back in 15 minutes to get it warmed up. And then it should be able to sit there and idle, and this thermostat should be able to maintain that correct 82, 83, maybe 84, 81. Let's say 81 to 84. I said it in another video. Somewhere there, it's all good. The problem we got is the other end of the scale, and that is and I didn't ever really think of it happening, and didn't think, not that it wasn't possible, but given they're so reliable at idle, and this whole component and setup here is so reliable, and a few people have an alarm, oh yeah, we're looking at an engine with a cracked piston, but it's reliable. It is reliable, and it's amazing that the 4-cylinder lasts as long as it did under the circumstances it was being used. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, whoever thought that people are going to be keeping cars for 3, 4, 500,000 Ks on the original engine, especially a little 4-cylinder diesel, highly strung, turbocharged, with a power and torque output like that, hauling trailers around in overdrive with big tyres. Just, it's amazing really how well they last. So I'm sure the wise people wouldn't disagree with that. So I didn't really think about the other end of the scale, right? So warming up, when it warms up, we know the middle piece, it moves in and it allows the flow of coolant to come out. Now, if that's sticking and not opening up properly, it's reducing the flow. And then some people are going to say, oh, just smash the center out of it. You never do that, because a couple of things happen. A, it's going to run cold because it's going to be flowing all the time. We already talked about that. The bottom end of the scale, you're going to be driving around sometimes with your coolant at 50 degrees. No good. Everything's designed to run at operating temperature, and that is draw a circle around 75 to 90. That's the range. 82 being ideal. If we could make it stay on 82 forever, that'd be ideal. You're not going to get that. You're going to see 86, 87. But we try and avoid seeing 88, 89, and anything under 90 is ideal. Anything over 90 is not ideal. You've got to start anything 90 plus for no good reason. You need to start looking around at what's caused the issue, why your engine is running hotter than what they normally do. So what I suspected and finally discovered was the thermostat that was opening up but not opening enough, and it was the cause of the restriction. The whole radiator system, cooling system, everything was beautiful. But as soon as you gave it a little bit of work to do, not even towing, just up the slightest undulation and leave it in overdrive, we were seeing 93 even. Coolant alarms going for 93. What's going on there? Thermostat solved the problem. That vehicle, since then, even working it, I haven't seen higher than 87, maybe 88 at the highest, which is peak premium condition, and that's what I like to see. That's enough yak on thermostats for this video. If you want, subscribe, turn the bell on. We'll talk about this, that, and the other in another video. See ya.